Alright, this is an intro video for a 26-acre tract very, very close to Lake of the Ozarks in Camden County, Missouri. Lake of the Ozarks being, I believe, the most popular vacation area in Missouri. So super fantastic lake with all kinds of fishing and pretty much anything you can do uh, on a lake, you can do on Lake of the Ozarks, including scuba diving. I mean, just everything. It's a great, great lake. Here's the property here. It's outlined in red. Um, Good road frontage along the entire north side. In fact, it has gravel road frontage and paved road frontage. And we'll dive into that in a minute here. But let's zoom out first, actually. So this is part of Lake of the Ozarks, and it really is a huge lake. And as we zoom out a little here, well, we'll zoom out a lot, and then we'll go back in. That's what we'll do. So here in the lower right portion of the video, that's Camdenton, and that's probably the main city at the Lake of the Ozarks. You can access the east side of the lake from there. You can access the west side of the lake. The stuff right around Camdenton is sort of I don't know if you want to call it the party area, but really the busy area. That's where you're going to get your speedboats and a ton of the younger crowd. Now I sound like I'm 200 years old, but a lot of the younger crowd and the party crowd you'll find by Camdenton. That's a lot of fun. But as you get toward the west, where this property is located, it's known as more of the family-friendly area of the lake. So this several-mile stretch right here specifically is where we personally take our family vacation every year. In fact, we've stayed right out here on the end of this peninsula a couple times, and some other places. We're very familiar with this section of the lake. We have a young daughter, a couple of older kids as well, and all their friends, and it has been great for the family to hang out in that area, fishing, do a lot of tubing. We're comfortable sending the younger ones, the teenagers, out alone in a boat because you don't have the speedboats going by at 100 miles an hour like you may down in the Camden area. So really great for that. Excuse me. And the fishing's phenomenal. I mean, the fishing's phenomenal, and the tubing and all that good stuff. So as we zoom in here a little bit, well, from Camdenton to get to the property, you'll go north on Highway 5. If you follow my little Mickey Mouse looking white glove here, go north on 5. You'll cross the Lake of the Ozarks, and then after a mile you'll go west. So you'll go left onto Highway 7, and we'll zoom in a little bit from there. So we go west on 7. I don't have the exact mileage, unfortunately, but I feel like it's probably about 10 miles that you're going on Highway 7. Okay. Now the way that I've always gotten to the property is to go north on Highway Z. There's a really good landmark. There's a Dollar General store right here on the south side, and you're actually going to go north onto Z. But that's because we've had a lot of properties in this area, and that just has been a more convenient way to go, is to go north on Z, take Kaufman Bend Road to Dodds Camp Road, and then Dodds Camp winds around and goes to the property. If I were just driving to this specific property, it would be quicker to go west on 7, and then instead of going all the way to Z, you'll cut north right here, and I believe this is Bollinger Creek Road. Let's go in one more and see if we've got it labeled here. Okay, so west on 7 to Bollinger Creek Road, go north on Bollinger Creek, and you'll go a couple miles. You'll be looking for Adkins Road on the left. When you get to Adkins, you'll go west, you'll go left on Adkins, and that's paved. And Adkins winds around a little bit, but that'll come right to the property. It's easy to find. You'll know when you're there because as soon as you get to the intersection of Adkins and Dodds Camp Road, then you're right on the north side of the property because it has frontage on both of those. This is the lake right here. Before we zoom in, I'll show you one of my favorite spots up here. I mean, there are a lot of different public access spots to this lake, probably dozens and dozens. But one of my personal favorites, that'll just show you really quickly. So here's the property. If you were to go over to Z, go northwest on Z, where you're headed to is this area right here, and that's the Brown Bend boat launch. I'll zoom in a little bit and show you that. And that happens to be one of my favorites because it is a public access. I believe it's maintained by the Conservation Department, and it's got a super boat launch. It's got nice bathrooms. It's got a short walking trail. It's got several fishing spots, including a fishing pier where you can fish right from the shore. So I mean, even if you don't have a boat, it's a great place to spend the afternoon. Ample ample parking, even if you have a truck and trailer. Um, and again, it's free. It's a free access. So I mean, you can park right here. There's the fishing pier, some walking trails. I mean, it's really cool, and the fishing's right good in this cove right here. So anyway, there's my advertisement for the Brown Bend access at Golden Goose Cove. Let's go back to the property. We spent a lot of time there, so I thought I would mention that one. Okay, so as we zoom in here, this was meant to be a short video. It's not working out that way. So 26 acres. Like I said, road frontage along the north side, about 900 feet, 925 on Dodds Camp, and that's a gravel road. This is Adkins Road. It's shown as Dodds Camp on the map, right? It's actually Adkins. Got about 400 feet on the paved road on Adkins. The property is all wooded. Like most of the properties around here, it has been logged. This one was logged, I believe, about 5 years ago. Looks pretty good. Let's zoom in a little more. Okay, so it's going to be, I believe, the highest on the north side. It slopes down as you go toward the center and then goes back up again on the south side, and you can actually see this creek bed that runs through the property. Now, I've been out to this property a couple times as we've had at least over the last few years, and sometimes that creek is flowing and sometimes it's not. We did a drone video the other day, and we couldn't get super low with the drone because I was kind of too far out of range. I was on a different property doing the drone video, so I couldn't get all the way down into the creek bed like I wanted to, but it was flowing. So let's do this here. Okay, well, let's do a topo map. Well, first of all, the access that we've used into the property is right here off of Dodds Camp. You pull off the road. There's a large area that's fairly clear here, and then there's a trail that goes all the way down to the creek bed. I haven't driven it in a truck. Maybe you could. Let's call that a four-wheeler trail or a walking trail. There's also a trail that kind of runs parallel with the roads, goes off to the east here, and those are the only two areas that we've explored. I mean, it's a big property, so you have a lot to see. Topo map really shows you what it's all about. Topo maps, really quick rundown, is the lines indicate elevation changes. On the maps that we use, each line is an elevation change of 20 feet. So the darker lines, all those are indicating is a total change of 100 feet. So every fifth line is a dark colored line, and that's a 100-foot contour. So from up here at the road, if we count the lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so about 120 feet from this north side down to the creek bed, and then going back up, if you go to the south, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to the highest point, 6, and about 120 feet back up. The creek bed being the lowest part. There appears to be, I haven't been on the south side of the creek bed, but looking at the topo map, there's a nice ridge that crosses through it over here. I mean, it's not steep off the road. I don't think it's steep off the road, but it's not flat either. So if you're going to do a substantial yard or whatnot, you might have to get in there with the skid loader or a tractor or something and scoop out a flat area if you wanted a flat yard. Most people in this area do not, because there's really not much flat stuff in this area. If I pan out a little bit, I mean, this is pure Ozarks, and that's why they chose this spot to build a lake back in the 50s, because there is a lot of up and down here. So let's go back to the Google map, and you'll want to check out the listing page as well. We'll have some other pictures, a video. We should have the drone video on there that shows the property fairly well. Let's zoom in a little more. We love the MapRight program. We can send you the link for this particular map. You just need to get the MapRight app on your phone or tablet, and we'll send you the link for this map. And then while you're out there, not only, if you open it up, not only will you have this outline, but there'll be a little blue dot to indicate where you are. So it makes it easy to get to the property, and then while you're walking the property, you can have your phone in your hand, and if you want to, you can basically walk the outline of the property. So if we look at this, my best guess is that this area to the northeast was logged very little, if at all, and then the remainder of this property looks like they did log some of the timber, but certainly not a clear cut by any means. But I mean, feel free to go take a look at it. Take a look at the drone video as well. What you need to do is go to InstantAcres.com, and if the property is available, then you'll see it there on our website. Feel free to give us a call or send us an email. Um, Other lake access points, okay. I haven't checked out Apache Point. I don't know if there's an access point there, but I know that if you go west on Dodds Camp for maybe a mile, there's a nice access point here. In fact, I think there's a community association for this area, and someone told me it's super cheap to join, like less than $100 a year, and that gives you access to this little area here, including a pretty good boat launch somewhere, and some other cool stuff. So something to keep in mind if you wanted to. But there are lots of access points to Lake of the Ozarks. But great property, by the way. This area of Camden County does have zoning, so we haven't placed any of our restrictions on the property like we normally would, because it does have zoning. This is zoned, I believe, A1 agricultural, which I am told is one of the least restrictive types of zoning, so that's a good thing if that's what you're looking for. But I mean, yeah, as far as building and camping and all that good stuff, hunting, you can still do that. And like I said, we haven't personally placed our 6 restrictions, because when there's zoning, we generally don't do that. So anything you can do on an A1 property, you should be able to do on this property. You can call the Camden County Zoning Department for questions. They're pretty helpful. We'll be happy to give you the parcel number for this tract if you really want to dig into it and ask them some questions. But yeah, check us out at InstantAcres.com. If you have any questions, let us know. Nice property in a really nice area. Even if you don't like the lake, this is a really nice area for hunting, for all that good stuff, for building one day. Yeah, InstantAcres.com.